Hello, my name is Steve. I have been a life coach for 11 and a half years, and there's a lot of valuable lessons that I'm able to learn through my studies, research, personal experience, and real world experience on what works and what doesn't work, and what are some of the things that my clients are struggling with. And something that comes up quite regularly is how to deal with someone who pushes you, who nudges you. And there's varying degrees. They could be even create more pressure and want to coerce you, or want to force you, or want to obligate you, or want to guilt or shame you into doing something that they want you to do. And this can come from friends, family members, parents, peer groups, society at large. The culture, has norms that it tries to enforce, the media, the government, a lot of sources that want to kind of either squeeze us really hard or gently squeeze us and try to nudge us to do what they want us to do. And a lot of people think, well, compliance is the best way to go. I'll just, like, if someone's nagging me to do something, I'll just do it so I don't have to deal with them nagging anymore. But what ends up happening is you are rewarding that behavior. And when you reward that behavior, they're going to continue to do it. And they'll slowly increase the ask, the things that they demand or that they want from you. And it's a short-term gain for a long-term pain, because now you're constantly having to deal with someone that puts pressure on you, that tries to force you, or just, again, gently nagging, like, hey, do the dishes. And they could be nagging you in that way. And if it's something that you think is legitimate, then that's a different story. But people generally rebel and resist when they're pressured and forced to do something. And so it's really important to teach other people how to treat you. And if you don't like the nagging, the prodding, the pushing, the pressuring, let them know, and let them know what works better for you. So for example, some of my clients, they're in a relationship, and one of them is very frustrated because the other one doesn't do the chores, or they do the chores and they wait till the last minute, or they procrastinate it. And so the solution, one of the partners let's say one of the partners is tidier partner, and wants a clean house, no dishes in the sink, so on and so forth. They'll kind of like, when are you going to do this? When are you going to do that? And it slowly just wears the person down in a negative way, where they're like, screw it, I just don't want to do it because of all this pressure that you're putting on me. And then you could come up with a solution. Hey, you know what? Let me do it on my own accord, and we can put up a little chart on the refrigerator, and you don't have to keep on asking me, and I'll check it off when I do it, and these are the days that I'll do it. Now, if it's something that you don't want to do and they pressure you, you could start off gently by saying, hey, please, enough is enough. And parents can be notorious for this. Even romantic partners can be notorious for this. They want you to do something, and they will just try to push and push and push. And there's a couple options that you can utilize in order to protect yourself from this onslaught, like them constantly throwing darts at you. You can ask them, please, you only need to ask me once, and I'll do it when I'm ready. Or, no, I do not want to do this, so please stop asking me. And then and I have clients, and the person will continue to ask, and they'll continue to pressure even after they set the boundary. So you start gently, and then you have to take it up to the next level. Hey, remember when I talked to you last time that you asked me about whatever it is, mowing the lawn, going somewhere that you might not want to go to, I even have when clients want to change careers, and they want to do something different, and family and their partner could be apply a lot of force and coercion and pressure and guilt. And the boundary has to be set, because if you are not strong when setting the boundary, it will continue, and it'll just be like this constant force that of that negative disapproval, of judgmental, of what you're doing is wrong. And most people, or a lot of people, will cave in. They'll give in to that pressure because they don't like how it makes them feel. And so what you want to do is just be bold. And you start off small, and then you gradually ramp it up to the next level, as I was saying, and say, hey, you know what? When I talked to you about this last time, I asked you to respect, my wishes of to ask me or not to push me. And then see what they say. And they say, oh, yeah, I forgot. Or they say, no, well, I don't agree with what you're doing. And then you have to take it up to the next level. And this has been very effective, especially with the narcissist who's doing the pressuring, is they think their way is right. Or it could be their children or their son or their daughter, older, an adult son or daughter, that they feel they're a reflection on them. And the son or daughter is making a decision that the parent will make the parent look bad. And so they'll apply a lot of pressure because they have a stake in it. It is going to affect how they look to other people, their friends, their family, if their son or daughter does whatever it is that they don't want them to do. And they can tighten the screws there. And so what you want to do in those situations, and this has been quite effective with my clients, is you just have to completely disengage. So if it's on the phone and they're pressuring you, or they want a favor even, and they're pressuring you, hey, will you do this for me? You need to do this for me. How much do I do for you? And you owe me this. That kind of ask, where it's not just, hey, this would be really nice. Would you mind doing this for me? It's, I want you to do this, and then force on top of that. And if you try to defend yourself, which is a trap a lot of people go into, they'll defend themselves, then they will start attacking each and every argument. So it's better just to keep silent and just say, I'm not discussing this anymore. And if they keep pushing, you leave the situation. You say, okay, you know what? I'm going to get going now. Or leave if you're talking to them in person, leave the situation. I know it seems dramatic, but that's really the only way that they get the message is I'm no longer going to reward you putting pressure or trying to coerce me or nag me to do something that you want me to do. And it's amazing how good people can manipulate other people, because the thing that they'll say is the narcissist or the person doing the pressuring, oh, you're being selfish. Why are you being so selfish? Why can't you think of other people? Why can't you think of me? Why can't you, even for yourself, what I'm saying is for your own good. Pressure, and it creates more and more resistance. And then you might take the bait, well, I'm not selfish. You don't have to explain yourself. As long as you're not committing a crime or being violent to another person, you're acting in accord to your own free will. And as an adult, you have that right. And you have the right not to comply with something that you feel is unjust or you feel is not in your best interest. And setting those strong boundaries with other people gives you confidence. And when you're constantly kowtowing or appeasing other people, you're just feeding the lion. And the lion just gets hungrier and hungrier and hungrier and wants more and more and more. And it might be uncomfortable. They might be in a position to punish you, to scold you, to shame you, to make you feel badly about yourself. And if you stand true to what you know is right, that stuff will not, that pressure and that force and coercion will not sway you, because you're staying true to your values. And how many of us can say that we do that on a consistent basis? We oftentimes just fold and say, oh, it's just easier to give in. And we don't count what is the long-term cost, what are the long-term consequences through appeasing other people. And it feels empowering, exciting, and like you're being yourself. You're being true to yourself. And I think that's what we all struggle with, is having the courage to be true to what we want and to what we know is true, even if others might disagree with us. We are standing strongly and boldly. And what you'll often find is the person doing the pressure respects that, because when they keep on pressuring and pushing you around, what they're really doing is not respecting you. They're saying, I don't respect you. I don't respect your decision. I don't respect your free will. And so I'm going to get you, force you, or push you, or pressure you to do what I want you to do. That's not respecting another person, another human being. That's just straight up coercion. And it happens to us from a very young age, because people are more easily controllable when they are conditioned to be passive. And that's how most of us have been raised, to be passive, to obey your parents, to obey the teacher, to obey or to get the approval from other classmates and peers, to obey what the cultural norms are of our society, or to obey the government. Obey, obey, obey. That's the way we are conditioned. Why? Because it's much easier to control people when you can get them to obey and to be passive, and it's much easier to get your agenda met. And that's when people are pressuring you, they want you, they're the ones who are really selfish. They want you to fulfill their agenda. They're not looking out for you, they're looking out for themselves. And they might say, oh, no, I'm looking out for you. It's for your best interests. But they're really looking out for themselves and their agenda. And sometimes you don't even know what their agenda is. It can be a hidden agenda. And that's where a lot of people sadly crumble. And it's important to spend a lot of time in solitude and really know what your values are and what you stand for and what you want to say no to and where you want to set your boundaries and what your values, just really important what your values are. And then practice in small steps, but practice setting those boundaries with other people and standing strong and being firm and setting those boundaries and reinforcing them. And then you become bolder. Courage comes after we do the thing we fear. And a lot of people want to have the courage paid up front before they do the thing they fear. And life just doesn't work that way. And as you have these experiences, you just feel more alive because you're walking your path. You're not walking the path that somebody else wants you to walk on. And once you start living this way, there's no going back. It's just extremely liberating, And then it allows you to be authentic in your communication. You don't have to people please. You don't have to worry about if someone's going to disapprove of you. You don't have to kowtow or just seek out, or not even seek out, but try to avoid disapproval and rejection. And I think that's what a lot of us do, is we put on the mask so that gets the most approval. Oh, when I'm in this environment, this mask gets the most approval, so I'll put that on. And a lot of us think we have to do something in order to be liked. And that's very sad, because that completely erodes one's self-esteem. Much better to be authentic, to be yourself, to take risks, to not constantly censor yourself out of fear, and let the people who like you, they'll see the real you and they'll like the real you. And there will be people that won't like you, and that's fine. And the majority of people will be indifferent to you. And that's just the way things work. But as you do this, it gets easier and easier and easier. So I'd love to hear your comments about how you can apply this in your life. Set a little social stretch for yourself in the comments, and let me know and the other people what you would like to be challenged and to be able to stretch your comfort zone. And if you'd like very affordable life coaching, send me an email. It's in the description. And thank you for tuning in. There's also, if you'd like to support the channel, there's a PayPal link. If you'd like to make a small donation, anything that does help the channel. And if you like it, please like and subscribe. And I look forward to the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.